Hey guys, it's Andrea. Today I'm doing a ranking my highlighters video. I've seen this video go around all over YouTube lately, and I'll link to some of my friends that have done it. I don't know if it was created by somebody in particular. I'm filming in my bedroom today, right by a window. No fake lights. I don't want to say fake lights. No studio lights. It's all just natural light from a window. So if you hear dogs barking outside and traffic, it's just what it is. But I want to do this ranking my highlighter video a little bit differently. And I don't know if anybody's done this. If anybody has, please let me know. I want to go through the process of ranking them with you. So I'm not showing you the aftermath of what I've already decided. I want to swatch things, I want to play, I want to have fun. I want to figure out which is my favorite, which are my least favorite highlighters with you on camera. And I know going in, this might end up being really long, and I think it's just going to be a relaxing video that people who love to watch makeup swatched are going to like the most. If you don't like long videos, you should probably get out now. All right, I'm going to take everything out of here. This is the organizer that goes in my highlighter drawer. By the way, I haven't even counted these, so I'm going to count them and figure out how many I have. That's another reason it's going to be so long. We'll take them all out of here, and then we'll put them all back in. I might declutter some along the way. And also, by the way, over there in the corner, those are the highlighters from my everyday makeup drawer. So I just kind of separated them for now, but let's just get into it. Going into this, I didn't really think about the fact that I have these palettes here and how when they have multiple things in them, although this one is a bad example, this has one highlighter, but like when they have multiple highlighters in them, how I'm gonna rank that in the process. So I'm just not gonna deal with that for now. I'm just gonna remove all the palettes, like face palettes. If it's like a duo, I'm gonna leave it in, but remove the face palettes for now. I think the best way to go about this is to maybe move these and like put them all back in this as we go. Do you guys think that's a good idea? I wish you could talk back to me in the moment. Okay, let's do it that way. And I'm gonna grab for what I think are my favorites first. That way we can kind of have a baseline and it will kind of be like, okay, as I swatch, does this thing beat that thing? So I'm gonna grab for 002 from Dior. I have two of them because I have a backup that Lisa sent me. So I don't know which one is the one she just sent me. This is called Glowing Nude. Wait, has that always been the name of it? I guess it's called Glowing Nude. It's from the Glowing Gardens collection, but it's 002. You can get it in the permanent line now. I want to say this is the one she sent me because mine is a little bit more beat up than that. I don't have a backup drawer, so this just kind of lives in here for now. But I think I'm going to put it to the side and maybe make, if not a backup drawer, just put it in a drawer that has less stuff. All right, there's 002 right there. I think I have my glasses on, but honestly guys, I need a new prescription because I'm like squinting through my glasses trying to see that viewfinder. But there you go, that's 002. So that's the benchmark. My other favorite highlighter of all time is this one from Lancome. It's called Sparkling Peach. And oh man, I still want to hit pan on this. I had this in my makeup use up last year. It's so pretty. So there is Sparkling Peach. I'm having the roughest time trying to get this to focus. There's Sparkling Peach next to 002. I always say those are my two favorite highlighters of all time. So if something can beat those, then it will advance in the rankings, I guess. I think what I'm gonna do is just pull out the ones I think I like the most, and maybe I'll pull out like a couple at a time. So this is Topaz from Jouer. I almost bought Skinny Dip during the VIB sale, but I actually didn't. I want to say like on the cusp is probably another favorite. This one, Molten Rose Gold from Maybelline, amazing. Yeah, so if I just pull out the things that I'm like, yeah, these are amazing, then I can rank those a lot easier. I really love this one from Bobbi Brown. This is called Bronze Glow. And this one from Estee Lauder, which is called Heat Wave. All right, so let's watch some of these. This is Topaz from Jouer. This one is so beautiful in the summertime. It's definitely a little bit deeper Love that. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Okay, then we have Heat Wave from Estee Lauder. This one is very gold. Does that not look a lot like Sparkling Peach? That looks so much like Sparkling Peach. I never even noticed before. No wonder I like it so much. But this one is a very different formula. Sparkling Peach is a lot thicker with dimethicone kind of feeling to it, and Heat Wave is much drier formula, so much more of a powder formula. So I still think I like the way the Lancome one applies just a little bit better. I'm gonna put that one there. I think Topaz is definitely in the running, but it's still, because it's a lot deeper, it's not something I wear all year round, so it kind of moves down a little bit in my ranking. Bronze Glow from Bobbi Brown. This is so pretty. Oh, do you sense a theme? I mean, so many highlighters look alike, but like I feel like that looks a lot like Sparkling Peach as well. Okay, I really like this formula. I think I like this formula a little bit better than Heat Wave even, so I'm gonna put that one there. And then Molten Rose Gold from Maybelline. This is such a good drugstore one. This one has that same kind of dimethicone feeling as the Lancome, although this is definitely a different color. This one is kind of more reminiscent of 002, but a little bit deeper. Where does this fit in with these? I feel like this is, for me, ahead of Topaz slightly, because I like this formula. I like the color a lot. The Topaz one from Jouer is a little bit on the drier side, and I like that formula a little bit better. Okay, these two, actually I'm gonna do both of these, Flexitarian and On the Cusp from ColourPop. So these are the Super Shock Cheek. Flexitarian, like, I love this. It's so beautiful. It's so bright. It's actually, I should probably swatch it here so you guys can see it like in contrast with these. This is the lightest of all of these, you see? Like, it's definitely the brightest. It's whiter than everything else. And it's amazing on the cheeks, but for that reason, like, because it's so light, I don't like it as much as I like this one, which is On the Cusp. And this one, I don't have a makeup wipe. Like, what was I thinking? There's On the Cusp, there's Flexitarian. And I do feel like On the Cusp is more in the family of the other things that I love the most, but it's not quite a dupe for anything. Like, it's definitely just a slightly different color than 002. So where do I put these? I really like the formula of these. These are like much more creamy than anything else here. I don't love the fact that I feel like I have to apply them every time with my finger. I mean, I don't mind it. It's never going to stop me from using these, but it's just not my favorite way of applying stuff. So, so On the Cusp goes ahead of Flexitarian for sure. And I think I like it more than Rose Gold, just a little bit. And then Flexitarian, I feel like, because of the color, it kind of falls a little bit farther back for me. Next, I'm gonna do these two, because I feel like if you can't order from ColourPop, or like it's a customs issue for you and you just don't like to, or whatever your reason is you don't want to order from ColourPop, these are a really good formula dupe for the Super Shock Cheek. So these are the Physicians Formula Butter Highlighters, and also they smell amazing. This one is in the shade Champagne, but it's actually much more of a gold. Oh, this is so creamy. The more I use these, the creamier they get. Like, this actually feels like a straight up cream highlight. So right there, that one is Champagne, but it's very much a gold. And I feel like for that reason, this falls way back in my rankings. Even though I really like the formula, not a gold highlighter person. This one, Pearl, is very much a white highlighter, similar to Flexitarian, but not quite as bright. Like, it's nice, but it's not quite as bright. If you see the difference there, like, this one just pops so hard. This one doesn't, but it's still very intense and shiny. So I would put, I guess I would put this one after the gold. Yeah, I do enjoy, like, I enjoy this one a lot and I use it a ton. And this one I don't use as often, so I would put them like that. All right, I'm gonna get a makeup wipe so we can kind of start over a little bit here. I'm gonna pull some things that I think are probably part of like the next wave of favorites. So Bobbi Brown Pink Glow. Actually, whoa, stop it. I don't really like how this is sitting here. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna move it out of the way. Hi, foot. I hope that is not really annoying. Maybe we'll just get in a little bit closer now, that we don't have to keep that whole thing in the frame. Okay. So these three, I think for sure, are probably the next wave. Oh, Fenty. Yeah, Hustle Baby. Probably Champagne Pop would be somewhere in the middle of the pack as well. Molten Gold from Maybelline. Maybe even the Quo one. And maybe Dior 001? Possibly. Okay. I don't really see anything that I think would edge any of these out, so I think these are probably kind of the next wave. Let's see though if Pink Glow will like beat anything that's already in that drawer. This is so pretty. I haven't used this one a ton, and I think that's why it didn't come first to mind. But I feel like this one for me is definitely more of a favorite than this Physicians Formula one. And then ahead of that was ColourPop Flexitarian. So let's put it next to Flexitarian because I know for sure it beats the Physicians Formula for me. Ooh, yeah. They're so different, but that's part of the fun of this exercise. And then ahead of that was Topaz. Topaz looks so different in a swatch than it does on my face too, by the way. Like I feel like on my face, it looks like so much more golden than this peachiness. But like definitely like a flesh tone golden almost. Ooh. Okay, I feel like this is behind Flexitarian for me, but just barely. So yeah, let's do that. But it goes ahead of the Physicians Formula ones. Okay, this Face Studio Chrome Extreme. This is in the shade, did I even say Diamond Glow? This is again a very thick formula. It looks so beautiful on the cheeks. It is that kind of thicker formula that it's not as smooth as some of the thicker ones I like. So I do really like this, and I actually should use it more, but I think it falls behind the Bobbi Brown, but ahead of the Physicians Formula ones. Okay, this Quo one, I do really like these. These are supposed to be a dupe for the Pixie, and they're very beautiful. I haven't used them a ton. There's obviously the two in there. And then you can kind of like mix them together, which is actually how I really use it. So I should swatch it that way to compare. Oh, it's so pretty. It really is so pretty. But it's not as smooth of a formula as I like for a lot of things. So I'm going to put it behind the Physicians Formula. This Molten Gold from Maybelline, again, super thick formula, that really dimethicone formula. This one definitely for me, because I don't love the formula as much, and I think I just swatched, did I just swatch that over something? Let's just do it again just in case. And because it's so intensely gold, like it's not really for my skin tone, I can use this in the height of summer, but it's not really my favorite. That'll go right to the end, and I have a feeling a lot of things are gonna edge that out. Okay, I've got Champagne Pop from Becca here. Look at this. I really used the heck out of this the year I got it. I loved this, and it was part of my makeup use of that year. So pretty. This formula is so smooth. This is a classic. It's beautiful on. It's kind of like the first wave of really hot influencer products. I love that. This is Hustla Baby from Fenty. This one is a pink yellow kind of shifter. It's not like, I wouldn't go so far as to call it duochrome, even though it kind of is, but it's just not obvious duochrome. It's very subtle duochrome, but it has a very intense yellow shift. And then this Dior 001, this one was from the Precious Rocks holiday collection, although again 001 is available. This is very much a more subtle highlight. It doesn't shine as intensely as some other things. I do like it. Definitely not my favorite. In fact, I think I appreciated it less as time goes on because my love for intense highlighters has just seemed to grow throughout the years. And then this is Diamond Dust from Laura Geller. Very different than everything else you've seen. It's definitely a white pink shifter, and it's super beautiful on. So I think between all of these, I think they're all gonna beat out, definitely the Quo. And actually I think Champagne Pop I would move ahead even of, so if I bring it back here so you guys can see, move it ahead of even like the Physicians Formula and this Maybelline. I think Champagne Pop goes here for me. Also because, you guys, we have to factor in emotions here. Let's be real. Packaging also matters. But like this has some just kind of like nostalgia for me. It has a warm place in my heart. I enjoy using it. Fenty, I'm going to put, I think I'm gonna put it here too. I really like using that. This Laura Geller one, I don't use it as often, so I'm not gonna I might like it in terms of color some more than some of these things, but because I don't use it as often because of the duochrome-ness, I'm going to put it at the back. I love it, but I don't use it as often. And then this Dior 001, because it's so subtle, I'm also going to put it right at the back. I kind of like this process of like doing a few at a time and then slotting them in. So I'm going to do it that way for the rest of the video. This one is super new. This is Benefit Dandelion Twinkle. Let's rank that one. I want to rank this Wet n Wild loose one because I still am not really sure how I feel about it. Another couple of really good ones. Oh, you know what? I just realized I left one of these in my everyday makeup drawer. It's the Peachy Pink Kisses one. I really don't want to get up and go get it right now. These are both from Makeup Revolution. They're the Triple Baked Blushers. Well, this one is, and this is Triple Baked Highlighter. But this one, even though it's a blush, it's a highlight. So that's why it lives here. And let's also rank, these two. So the Smashbox Vlada and then Wet n Wild Blossom Glow. Actually, no. I want to do all the Wet n Wilds together. Let's also rank MAC Soft and Gentle in this round. Alright, so for the Blushing Hearts, I'm pretty sure that I would put the one in my everyday makeup drawer like right next to this one in terms of how much I like it. So I'm not going to go run and get it. This one is in the shade Iced Hearts. Super pretty, super intense, very dry formula though. Like it's not like really buttery or anything. The packaging is super bulky, but super cute. This one I don't like as much. I just got this one. This one is the Goddess of Faith, and it's very white on the white side. But it doesn't, it's just not as intense, I don't feel like, as some of my white highlighters. So I don't love it as much. Okay, this Dandelion Twinkle, this is the mini. Come on, get back on there. This is the mini. And I just don't know if this is the same as the full size because I remember swatching the full size in store, really liking it. But this one, I just feel like it's not as sparkly as the other ones I've always swatched. I don't know. It's pretty though, but I feel like when I wore this, it was, oh shoot. I feel like when I wore this, it was a little bit more on the subtle side. Like I know on my cheek, this one shows up a lot more. You can see that there's a gold a gold light to it, whereas this one has more of a flatness to it. It's not as dimensional. So this one I feel like definitely goes behind. This Vlada Smashbox is so gorgeous. This is in the shade Prismatic Petal. It is a duochrome. And this is what the actual powder packaging looks like. Like, look at that. It's so beautiful. You can tell I've used it a bunch. This has been in my everyday makeup drawer this month. This is definitely a duochrome shifting one as well. Pretty intensely duochrome shifting, actually. I think you can see it's like pink, red, orange. I have another highlighter that is actually pretty similar to this. Let's do it too. The Too Faced and Canary Diamond. And again, packaging wise, amazing. Love it. Oh, so cute. And this one I feel like is very similar. Oh, actually they're very different. They're similar in idea, but not in shade. So this one is a red that shifts to orange yellow, and this one is a yellow that shifts to orange. Very interesting. I'm so glad I put those next to each other. Okay, I think that the Smashbox goes ahead of all of these for me. Actually, I didn't swatch Soft and Gentle from MAC. Let's do that. I really like Soft and Gentle. As you can see, this is smashed and it's only a portion of it. I like Soft and Gentle. I think it looks really pretty on. There it is right there. It has a lot of glitter in it, which I don't mind. I do like it quite a bit. Okay, so the question is, do any of these beat these ones? And I feel like this one, even though it's a duochrome, like as opposed to Diamond Dust, I use this one a little bit more. And I especially like to layer things on top of it. You know, if I were to drop this all at once, that would be the biggest tragedy of my life. This one can go ahead of Molten Gold. Okay, now we're gonna have to start moving things out of here. Put them over here. So Smashbox goes ahead of Molten Gold after Quo. I think next I really like this one and also the one in my everyday makeup drawer, which is much more of a peach. I like those ones a ton. So I'm going to put those behind Smashbox, but I'm going to put this one next, the Too Faced, and I'm going to put that one ahead of Dior. So now we're kind of moving this way. This is not in line, so I got to work with what I have. That one there. Oh, I didn't swatch this. Oh, shoot. You guys are probably like screaming at me. This is the loose highlighting powder from Wet n Wild, and it's called Written in the Stars, which reminds me of that song, that country song, Are We Written in the Sand or Are We Written in the Stars? I just like wiped everything off my hand, so I can't really compare, which might have been dumb, but I just want to put this on here. I love this swatched, and I loved it swatched, and my hand is a little wet. Here, let's put it here. I loved it swatched when I first like busted it out when I first purchased it, but I don't love it on my face. I feel like the loose component of it doesn't allow it to buff into the skin in the same way. Sorry about the phone noise, guys. I'm just waiting for a very important call and I don't want to miss it if it's on vibrate. Yeah, I don't love the way this looks on the face as much in a swatch. Like, that's intensely beautiful, but it just doesn't do the same thing. So I'm gonna put this last for now. I'm gonna put this after it though. I don't like this very much. I've used this once recently, like I just bought it and I don't love it. So I'm gonna put that one there. Dandelion, I think like I still want to love this. Does that factor into this? Like if you want to love something, can it go ahead of other things? I feel like it does in a way. So I'm gonna put it ahead of the Wet n Wild. And then MAC Soft and Gentle, I feel like I would reach for this before I reach for the Dior one. So I'm gonna put it there. I'm pretty happy with that. If you notice, I still haven't done any face palettes. I think I'm just gonna rank the face palettes against each other because it's too hard to fit them in with all this stuff. Okay, let's do it all again. The only, you know what? Okay, some of these might go way ahead in the pack because there's a few in here like this one that I just got and I've only used it one time. Or this one that I've used a couple times, but it's not like in the front of my memory. So let's do this. This really shouldn't even be in here. This is the Peter Thomas Roth 24 karat gold Pure Luxury Lift and Firm Prism Cream. I don't use this as a highlighter. I know some people do. I've had it in my highlighter drawer and I have not used it once out of my highlighter drawer. This really for me is kind of like you would mix it in with your moisturizer, you would mix it in with your foundation, you would put it on top of your foundation but under powder. You know, like that kind of thing for me. It's not really a highlighter. It's much more of like an illuminating primer. So I'm just going to take this out because it doesn't make sense to try to compare that for me. Okay, before I rank these, I feel like I should declutter a couple of them. One thing I know I don't like at all is this Catrice highlighting powder in the shade Champagne Campaign. I bought this sight unseen, like from Shoppers Online, and it's just because I wanted to try Catrice, but it's so subtle. Like, I don't know what's champagne about it. It's so subtle. It's like more subtle than the 001 from Dior. It's more like just a face powder. I don't know. I'm going to pass this on to a friend, see what their opinion is, because I know, should I just keep it in for now and put it right at the bottom? Let's do that, but let's know that this is getting decluttered, because it definitely is. I'm going to put it over way to the side. This is on my chopping block right now. It is not my favorite at all, and I most likely will declutter it. I'm still maybe gonna have one or two more uses to decide, but this is from Wet n Wild. It's from the Zodiac collection in the shade Air. It is a little bit more shiny, but I just don't like the powderiness of this formula. It's just not as smooth. I don't like the way it applies on my cheek. It's not my favorite. So this is like way back at the back of the pack. You know, I'm looking at some of these, I'm going, this should not be near the bottom. Like, I really like this one. I really like this one, but I don't use it as much. Oh, I really like this one. I just don't use it as much because it's so big. Okay, this one, I'm sorry to say, Alex trying to get me to use cream highlighters, and she gifted this to me. And I did try it, and I did not like it. It's from LA Girl. It's the Velvet Highlight Contour Stick in the shade Luminous. And like on a swatch, it's really pretty. It's really shiny, like that's really nice. But I can't use it. It's just like I blend it on top of foundation and it just takes away my foundation. I try to like maybe pat it on with my finger, but then it's not as intense. Like over powder, it kind of gums up powder. It's just not, it just doesn't work for me. So I know that this is definitely like behind the Wet n Wild for sure, and it will get decluttered. I'll see if Alex wants it. Like, I don't know if she tried it herself, so we'll see. This one I used to love a lot, and I feel like it's just, there's so many things that are better now. This is the NYX Duochromatic Illuminating Powder in the shade Snow Rose. And I used to really like this. It's white and shifts to pink. So there it is right there. It's white and shifts to pink. It's a pretty color and everything. The formula is so much more powdery than every other duochromatic highlighter that I have. So this to me is like behind the Wet n Wild. Now this Master Chromatic or Master Holographic from Maybelline is the holographic version that they have out. I don't know if you can tell, one thing I don't like is when I put the brush back in, it gets really gummy and like, see this? Oh, gross. That's on my bed now. It's got like this, not even hard pan, but like it's got transfer from, I guess maybe my foundation or something on the brush, or maybe like the blush that's on my highlighter brush, it goes back in here. Whatever it is, it's pretty gross. And you can see on my finger when I go to swatch it just how chunky it is. Now, when you put this in the skin, and if you really, really, really buff it in, like intensely buff it in, you get a really pretty wet look. See that? Really pretty and everything. It's just way too much trouble than it's worth to me. So I think I'm actually going to declutter this one as well. But I still like this more than the Wet n Wild and everything else that I've talked about. Because it does give you that wet look effect. I just know that I'm not going to use it. Do I like it more than the loose Wet n Wild? No. Still falls pretty far back in the pack for me. Okay, this one from Catrice is the 3D Glow in Pinch of Rose. And I like this color. I don't like the formula. It's very thick, very, very thick formula. Oh, but you know what? Okay, look at that there. I'm actually going to try this as an eyeshadow. And I don't normally do that. It's not my thing to like repurpose makeup, but I think that actually might work out really beautifully as an eyeshadow. But I don't like the way it is on the cheek. It's just way too dark for me. So I'm gonna put this, like in terms of highlighters, I'm gonna put it behind the Master Holographic, but before the Wet n Wild. But I am gonna move this in my collection. Okay, last of them. This MAC one, I love the packaging. Look how beautiful this is. This is Whisper of Guilt from the Snowball collection. Like, oh my goodness. It's so pretty. I wish I could fall in love with the powder as much as I love the packaging, because I just am not the biggest fan of this powder on my face. Every time I go to use it, I feel like I'm forcing myself to. It's definitely not my favorite look, but I still like it a lot more than everything I've recently talked about. If I bring this back over, so just to recap, this is all the best. That's where we go. Then this way. I feel like this fits in like maybe after Diamond Dust, maybe even after the Dandelion Twinkle, because I'm still in like a honeymoon stage of, or no, I'm still in a dating stage with that one where I like want to like it, but I'm not sure. So I feel like it goes after that one, but like ahead of these guys. Okay, now let's talk about these these four that I like a lot, but like I haven't used a lot. And it's funny because, oh, you can't see. All four of these were gifted to me from Alex. I have a really good memory for people that give me gifts. Like I have a really good memory for what I've been given. I don't know if everybody is like that, but I know like my husband is not. Like he will not remember that somebody gave him that as a gift 5 years ago, but I will. So I don't know why, like this is brand new. I've only used it once. She just gave this to me. This one I actually have used quite a bit. This one I've only used once or twice. And this one she gave to me, the first gift she ever sent me. Like it was a box of makeup. This was in there. And there was another one that was smashed up that I have since decluttered because it was smashed up. But I really like this one a lot. The only reason I don't use this a lot is just because it's so big. And so bringing it into my everyday makeup drawer, I never think about it. But every time I swatch this, I'm like, oh yeah, that is really, really pretty. So it is kind of a yellowy gold. Look how pretty that is. I really need to make an effort to use this more. I feel like for me, this goes kind of ahead. I would put this ahead of definitely everything here. Do I like it more than the Too Faced? Like again, these are so different, it's hard to say, right? How do you rank things that are so different? But like, which one would I reach for more? Which one do I enjoy using more? I feel like it's simply for the packaging part of it, and it isn't as sparkly. It is really pretty, but it's not as sparkly. I think I'm gonna put it behind the Too Faced. Obviously, unfortunately, this drawer can't stay this way because it needs to fit back into my drawer system. But for now, just to rank them, I'm gonna put it there. And then here we have the Essence Pure Nude Space Light. I think I've used this twice because again, it's just one of those things where how often can you use a duochrome highlighter? But if you look at this one, and if you remember the NYX one, let me swatch the NYX one next to it. The powder of it is so much better than the NYX one. Like this NYX powder is so powdery. Like I feel like you can see it on top of the skin, whereas the Space Lighter one is a little bit more smooth. It's not as smooth as Diamond Dust from Laura Geller. Let's swatch that one too. Like this is the smoothest of all of them. I'm pretty sure that's because this is a big gelée and these ones are definitely powder. So you see the difference there? Like this one is the shiniest for sure. And then this one is the Space Lighter and that one is the NYX. So, okay, if I put that one back, I would put this again just because I don't use it as often. Actually, yeah, I think I'm gonna put this just right behind the Diamond Dust because to me they're almost interchangeable. It's just the one formula difference that makes it like not higher in the rankings. Okay, let's swatch the Mally one. This is called the Glowing Goddess Illuminizer. This one is really glittery. It's almost like a subtle highlight with glitter, if that makes sense. Like the base of it is more subtle than a lot of things that I have, but it's still shiny and it has a lot of glitter in it. This Naked Skin from Urban Decay, it's just the Naked Illuminator? I think shimmering powder for face and body. Super pretty. This one is very, very glittery. And it's much more white. I used this the other day. I really liked it a lot. I liked it on. I like the way it wore. I'm going to put this much higher probably than a lot of things I've done. I'm going to put this ahead of the Too Faced one. So way up here, but before this. Here you go. Okay. The Mally one. I just feel like I don't use it as much because it's a little bit more subtle. I think it falls into the area of like the MAC Soft and Gentle for me. So I like it more than the Dior. I don't think I like it as much as Soft and Gentle, so it's gonna go there. So this is the Master Fairy highlight from Maybelline. This illuminating powder. This one is purple, if you couldn't tell. Like, it's beautiful. That is so pretty. But I wear this once a year for Halloween. Like, I don't wear this ever. It's so pretty. That would make such a nice eyeshadow too, probably. But I have purple eyeshadows like that. This is gonna go, for me, ahead of the Wet n Wild, behind the Catrice, and behind the Master Holographic Highlighter. This one is an eyeshadow that I use as a highlight. This is the J-Cat Beauty Triple Crown Baked Eyeshadow. I only use these two, and I kind of mix them like this. This is a Tati purchase from way back when, and I haven't used this in so long. This is in the shade Creme Brulee. I used to have another one too. It's pretty. Again, I'm not in the mood to repurpose things usually, and so I almost never reach for this. I will reach for almost anything else in my collection before this. So I'm gonna put this way at the back, maybe ahead of the NYX, but like behind the Wet n Wilds. You know, I keep buying Wet n Wild highlighters, and it's because like they have kind of a cult following and people really love them, especially if you love drugstore makeup. I need to have a large drugstore collection. Number one, because I love drugstore makeup too, but because of my channel. And I feel like these serve a purpose in my collection for comparing to other things. And I do like them, but I don't reach for them ahead of other stuff. So all that being said, even though Precious Petals is supposedly a dupe for 002, I almost never reach for it because I own 002. Like, why would I reach for that ahead of 002? So do you know what I'm saying? It's beautiful. It's just as beautiful as that in terms of color. I feel like this one, because of the texture of it, is much nicer and it applies a lot nicer. 002 looks like my skin when I buff it in. This always kind of looks like it's sitting on top of my skin. But not terribly. Like, it's not a bad thing. It's just like a subtle difference that I can see. However, that being said, I still like this. I think I would put this behind, yeah, I think I would put it behind the Too Faced Duochrome, but ahead of the Makeup Revolution. And then this one, Blossom Glow, this has actually been in my everyday makeup drawer this last go around. This one, the texture's kind of weird. It feels like a mixture between a gelée and a powder. So I don't even know what it is. But it's kind of a much lighter, pinker formula. And I don't love the way this looks on my skin. So I'm going to move this probably... I'm going to move it behind these duochromes. I'm even going to move it behind MAC. And this Wet n Wild, I like them a little bit more. I probably like it a lot more than the Makeup Revolution though. So that is where that one fits right there. All right, guys, that is like all of the singles. So we still have to do the palettes. I told you this is gonna be a long video, but let's just go through them real quick. So we have Dior 002, Lancome Sparkling Peach, Bobbi Brown Bronze Glow, Estee Lauder Heat Wave, ColourPop On the Cusp. We have the Rose Gold from Maybelline, Jouer Topaz, Flexitarian from ColourPop, Pink Glow from Bobbi Brown, Champagne Pop from Becca, then Fenty Hustla Baby, Maybelline Chrome Extreme in Diamond Glow. Then I've got the two Physicians Formula, Champagne and Pearl. This Quo one, I don't know if I ever told you what the shade was called. Or it doesn't have one. It's just called the Quo Megawatt Highlighter. Then the Smashbox Vlada, what is it called? Petal Metal or something? Yeah, I got that right. Then the Blushing Hearts from Makeup Revolution in Iced Hearts, and also Peachy Pink Kisses. I would put there, the one that is left in my everyday makeup drawer. Then we're going this way. So then we have the Naked Skin from Urban Decay. That's the face and body. Then we have Canary Diamond from Too Faced, Wet n Wild Precious Petals, Makeup Revolution Skin Kiss in Golden Kiss, Soft and Gentle from MAC, this Mally one in Glowing Goddess, 001 from Dior. Then there is the Master Chrome in Molten Gold, then Dandelion Twinkle from Benefit. And then we are going this direction. So then there is Laura Geller Diamond Dust, the Pure Nude Space Lighter from Essence, MAC Whisper of Guilt, Wet n Wild Written in the Stars, these don't want to sit nicely, Wet n Wild's Blossom Glow, Makeup Revolution Goddess of Faith, Master Holographic by Maybelline, the Catrice in 3D Glow Highlighter in Pinch of Rose, then the Master Fairy Highlight from Maybelline, then the Wet n Wild, oh come on, Wet n Wild Air, this JCat Beauty Triple Crown in Creme Brulee. These are mixed up now. Then the NYX in Snow Rose, then the Catrice in Champagne Campaign, and then the LA Girl Velvet Highlight Contour Stick. So there's an overview. That way, that way, that way, that way. This was a fun little exercise, wasn't it? I mean, if you're still here, obviously you thought it was fun. Everybody else didn't. Let's just do these guys quickly. I know for sure that this is at the front of the pack for me. This Cheek Leaders from Benefit, the Mini Bronze Squad. This shade Cookie is so beautiful. It applies beautifully. It swatches beautifully, but the most important thing is it applies beautifully. It looks like even better throughout the day on my skin than when it started, because my oily skin kind of like works with it and just gives me this most beautiful glow. If I were just to put this one in that, I would most definitely put it ahead of Heat Wave from Estee Lauder, but maybe like behind the Bobbi Brown Bronze Glow. So that would put it like 4th overall in my entire collection. So in terms of face palettes, this goes number 1. Next, if I were reaching for these, I would probably reach for these two. Although this one from Becca, I love this. The only reason I don't use this more is because it's, again, so large, but this is the Après Ski palette, again from Alex. And it has blushes in it, and it has highlighters in it. So the actual highlighters, I believe, are these 3, because that's a bronzer, and that's a blush, and that's a blush. Rose Quartz, Icicle, and Opal. Rose Quartz, Icicle, and Opal. When I use this palette, I usually just tend to mix them up, which is most of the time how I use any highlighting palette. I will mix, and it'll be totally random. I'll just mix a bunch together. So, but I like all of these. I think, well, for now, this is second. Let's do this next. This is the Lancome Glow For It palette. So this is Rose Twinkle. This is the same formula as the Sparkling Peach. And this one has a lot of glitter in it. I feel like some of these are kind of getting a little hard pan It's super pretty, that one. And then this one has a ton of glitter in it. Not, I don't know, not as pretty I think as the pink. And then this one I never use because it's like a bronze. Yeah, I would never use that. So this goes definitely behind the Becca one for me. This is the NARS Banque de Sable, and this was limited edition. Again, I kind of usually just mix these two together. Really pretty colors, really shiny. The formula is definitely a lot drier. I think I still like this more than the Lancome. Do I like it more than the Becca? I think I like the Becca texture better. And I just don't use it as much, but I need to. Now I'm discovering. Okay, this Lis Swatche, this packaging is stunning. This is the Neige highlighting powder face palette. This came out this very past Christmas. Look how beautiful it is. I mean, literally, this is the reason I bought it. But I think just for the packaging and the way the powder inside looks, like, I think I have to put this a little bit higher in the running. I almost want to tie it with the Becca one. Let's make a tie. We haven't had any ties yet, so I don't mind doing that here. Okay, this is Whisper of Guilt with a blush in it. So really, is it fair that it ends up in this face palette? I don't know. Again, I don't like Whisper of Guilt. I have it in the other like single, and I never reach for this. This needs to get decluttered. This is going to the bottom of the pack. I was obsessed over this when it first came out because it had been limited edition. Now you can get it in the permanent range, but that, I never ever reach for that. This Smashbox palette, this was the original Casey Holmes collab. So this had her name on it when I bought it. It was in a box with her face on it. But this is a Smashbox Spotlight palette in Pearl. You can tell this is really well used. I love this. It's super subtle. Again, I always mix them together. Like I just do that. And the thing about this is, and I've said it a million times, it doesn't swatch like anything. But every time I put it on my face, it shows up so gorgeously. I'm gonna put it ahead of the Lancome, but behind the NARS. This Pure palette, this Pure Sparkle, look how pretty, how cute. This came out last Christmas. This is the Pure Sparkle and Shine Bright limited edition Sweet 16 travel highlighting palette. These look like they're going to be super intense, and they even swatch like they're going to be super intense, and they apply to the face so subtly. But that being said, I don't hate it. I actually quite liked it, but it's a different expectation. I'm gonna put this behind Lancome, but that doesn't mean, like, just because it's closer to the end doesn't mean I don't like it. I do like it. And then lastly is this from Clara Cosmetics. This is actually an eyeshadow palette in the shade, or the style, or whatever the name, London. These are all eyeshadows. I do not use them. I don't like the formula of those, but I love this highlighter. It's super pretty. I put this on my chopping block. I've been using it a little bit here and there this month just to see if I'm going to like it enough to keep it. And there it is right there. I think you can tell just how intense it is, how pretty it is. But I don't reach for it again, just because it's kind of bulky packaging for one little highlight, and that's why it never gets reached for. But I do think I like this more than the NARS and the Smashbox and the Lancome. So there's the order of those. So we have Benefit, Ty with Lis Swatche and Becca, Clara, NARS, Smashbox, Lancome, Pure, and MAC. I don't know when the next time I'm going to be able to do an actual declutter of my collection is. Clearly I need to. I have way too much. And I just want to get rid of a few things, like I said, right now. So I know for sure I want to get rid of this LA Girl. I'll see if Alex wants to try it out herself. I don't know if she ever has. I'm going to get rid of this Catrice highlighting powder, this NYX highlighter. I'm going to get rid of this JCat Beauty eyeshadow. This is on my chopping block, so I'll talk about that in that video. And then going in here, I'm gonna rehome this one, this Catrice one, to my eyeshadow and see if I use it there. And this one, it kind of pains me to get rid of this. I'm almost not ready, so I'm gonna leave it. That's such a cop-out, but I'm gonna leave it. This is not a declutter video, okay? I just said I would get rid of a few if I could. And then this MAC Whisper of Guilt one I'm going to also get rid of. So I'm decluttering these things from my collection for now. Eventually I'll do another like actual declutter of my entire collection. I do want to do that sometime this summer, so not in the too distant future. In the meantime, thanks guys for hanging out with me. I really wanted to do this way too. Like, I love watching videos where you see the process and the thought process instead of just the end result. And so I really am glad that you hung out with me for this. It's nice to have moral support, even though I'm talking to myself in a room with a camera, but I feel like you're here with me in spirit. Definitely subscribe if you lasted this long in this video. And I hope you're having a great day. I hope that you're speaking kindly to yourself today. I love you guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.